Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch. Every once in a while, we talk about something else crafty, but this week, I have just been busy putting X's into projects, so it's all cross stitch. I am coming at you from a different location. We are in Connecticut this week, so you get to see my markers over there and my die cutting area over here in the studio area, craft room studio. We kind of make fun and call it a studio. I don't know. But different location, blue room probably next week, where you'll see me again. If you're new, welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play. I hope you like what you'll see and hit like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Feel free to ask questions. I try to give as many details as possible, but I very often can let something completely slip. So feel free to ask away and I will get back to you. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming whenever you can and watching whenever is possible for you and being a part of my stitchy journey. I really enjoy each and every one of you. This week's stitching, I did, like I said, get a decent number of projects in. Mostly Christmas. I'm feeling the call of Christmas, which I think a lot of you have also mentioned that you are feeling as well. I'm still wearing my autumny sweaters. I own way too many sweaters that have leaves on them. I get it. I know it. But I pull them out this time of year just so, you know, I feel like I'm getting use out of them. So I did have my two non-Christmassy pieces that you've seen before. But everything else this week just happens to be Christmas. I decided I really wanted to start getting into that kind of jolly mood. And I haven't decorated yet. I don't know what I'm doing decoration-wise this year because it's a little up in the air. But I don't know. We'll see. But I am getting into the Christmas mood. Did find my traditional Christmas music on satellite radio for the car, so now I can listen whenever I'm in the car as well, so lots of fun. All right, but let's talk some stitching. Let's start with the two non-Christmas pieces, just so that then we're in the theme of the Christmas holiday season. The first one, let me grab my iPad, is Autumntown from Autumn Lane Stitchery. And if you've not seen it before, that's what it looks like. Plus, in general, if you want to see what it looks like just as a whole, I am loving the fact that so many of you are saying that you have picked it up and you may not be stitching it till next year, or you've started it or whatever. I'm super excited that so many of you liked this pattern as much as I did. I am using the DMCs, so it'll look slightly different in some cases than this one. Okay. So let's show you where I am. This is done on an 18 count fallen leaf fabric from To Die For Fabrics. And here we are. What did I do? Look, look, look. This edge is done. That's really what I concentrated on this week, was really getting, so this is corner to corner. That's as wide as it's going to be. I did a little bit of this on Friday. A lot of times on Fridays, by the time I videotape and upload and all that good stuff, I'm kind of stitched out a little bit. So I give myself a little bit of time, usually in the afternoon or early evening, to do a little bit of stitching. And then, you know, whatever, either I continue the project sometime else in the week, or for this one, what I did was I decided that, and it didn't happen every day, maybe 3 or 4 days after that, I put in about 2 or 3 strands, usually in the evening. It was the last thing I did as opposed to the first. And I just really, really, really wanted to focus on this. It didn't look like I had a ton left when I showed it to you last week, but you'd be surprised. This is pretty dense. So I did completely that. I finished this cloud, so all of that is completely done. So we still have a little bit more sky, but now we're gonna get more into the houses again, which is super exciting. So you'll get to see more color exploding on this side pretty soon. And then we'll just work our way down. This is a 4-page pattern, and page 1 and page 2 are what we've seen so far. This is about approximately where the end of page 1 and page 2 will be. And you will see, if you choose to stitch this, choose your color wisely, and you can do whatever theme you want because you will have some open spaces. I really like this fabric. Super excited that I went with this one, but I've seen it done on different shades of green and other things as well that look great. So just play around with it, throw your flosses on there if you haven't made a decision yet. But that one is Autumntown from Autumn Lane Stitchery. And I don't know, as I get more into Christmassy ones, if I rotate between this and the next one, or if I keep them both. I really do enjoy them. We'll see, we'll see. If I don't do them maybe during the Christmas holidays, starting next year, I'd want to get back right to them again because I really, really enjoy them. All right, see, I haven't done this in a while. Let's see, we'll put this stuff over here. Okay. I have to be careful with this setup too because the camera is balanced on top of stuff on the table. So if I hit the table, you'll hear a little bit of shake. So I'm trying my best. This next one is also non-Christmas. If you can see the purple, you know what's coming. It is Jardin Prive, maybe, Lady Halloween. So that's the pattern right there. I'm not doing it completely monochromatic. I am pulling in some of the, well, I am doing the three colors, the three color kind of rotation that this pattern gives for suggestions, but then I'll talk about where I might want to put a little bit more color and see what your thoughts are. All right, let's show it. The lighting is definitely different in this room, so things may look slightly different than they would have if you were looking in the blue room. So that's where I am. I wanted to do that witch's hat so badly. So I did the witch's hat. I have all of these letters. I have one letter here. I think it's H. G-H, yeah. I still have H to do here. I didn't get to that. And then I did some more of this. This is 18 count Smoky Amethyst from To Die For Fabrics. So that's really what I concentrated on this week, is that middle part. Now, so for 310, I'm using Anchor Black, so I did change that. The dark gray is 317, I kept that. She charted the lighter gray in 318, totally didn't work for this. So I changed out that color. It's in the 400s. If you really want to know, in the description box below, I'll let you know what it is. So if you look under the Lady Halloween info, it will say what floss color I've used instead. And that's how it comes out. So nice and bright. Like that. Now, two places where I'm not 100% sure what I want to do. Right here is where obviously the witch becomes Lady Halloween. And this would be all where her hair is. Her hair is charted in this gray. I was thinking of maybe pulling out the dark purple etoile and having her have purple hair. I think that would, I'll try it against this fabric, but I'm pretty sure it would be dark enough against this and it would add a little bit of sparkle. So that's a thought with that. Let me know what you think. And then as you start to come over here, what you're going to start to see are bubbles from a cauldron. For the bubbles, I was thinking of grabbing another etoile, maybe like a green. I'll see what they have in the etoile colors, and putting that in there. We'll see how that matches up against all the other colors, or if I wanted to pick something else. I'll see what they have, and I'll kind of go from there. I'll let that be my guide against the purple as well as against the existing colors. But I have to remember to write a note because I think the etoile is here, and I need to bring that down to Delaware if I want to be able to stitch that onto this anytime soon. So just all these little notes of trying to figure out where my different pieces of stash are. But that's my thought on that. Let me know what you think. This is another one that I know a lot of you have said that you maybe next year will stitch, or some of you are stitching it now. I've seen it monochromatic. It's gorgeous. I've seen it in other completely different colors. It's gorgeous. So have fun with it if you're doing it, and let me know what you're doing because I really, really want to know. I'd be really interested in hearing what you chose with it. But I think that's the direction I wanted to go with this one, with a couple more slight changes. Otherwise, looking at the rest of the pattern, I will probably keep it with the three main colors. I think maybe just a little bit of pops of color here and there might be a lot of fun just to add a little variety. And we do have a Sal, stitch along with this one. It is hashtag ladyhalloweensal, S-A-L. Down below again, I list people that I know that have a Flosstube that are stitching it. And we have an Instagram friend that is stitching it, and I've got her Instagram down below as well. If you are doing it and you want me to add one of your links to that list, please let me know and I would be happy to. I'll just put you right on the list and we'll just keep it going. So oh, I forgot, I'm going this way with these. Those are my 2 non-Christmas pieces. Everything else, including the one tiny little new start that I have this week, are all Christmas related. And the one thing I have planned is also Christmas related. Okay, so let's start just right here. Let's just start with the pile, top of the pile. Well, I have to be careful because there is a pattern on the back of this. And if I flip it around to look at it, then I'm flashing the pattern. This is the Prairie Schooler Santa's Revisited 2. And I am stitching the 1989, this top guy right here, Santa. That's the next one. I've already done this one, which was 84. And now we're working on this one, 89. So, where am I? There we go. Santa's getting there. So on this one, I think I pulled this out yesterday. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I flipped through I brought a few more extra projects than I would need this week because I wasn't 100% sure what I felt like stitching on. And as I was flipping through things that I hadn't stitched on yet this week, this one jumped out and I said, you know what, let's do this one. So this guy now, his hat is complete. His beard is complete. I've been working my way down here with his, there's a wreath right here, the cardinal. If you'll notice for his face and his hands, I did change the Prairie Schooler suggestion for DMC, and it is 3864 I'm using instead. And then he doesn't have, I don't think he has cheeks on this one, so I didn't have to do any change on the cheeks. The only other thing that I changed was the called for all of this was a bit more cream than white, and I wanted to do white, so I did 3865. Everything else will be as Prairie Schooler charted. So we're plugging along. This one's fun. We've got to work a little bit more. You know, I thought maybe I'd get this done, but I didn't. And then, yeah, there's a big chunk down here. And then just the border. So we're working along on this. Actually, the hardest thing will be the wreath because there's a lot of counting in between the wreath, the bow, and his coat. This is stitched on, like many of these Prairie Schooler Santas, 18 count Jade from Picture This Plus. Oh, I hear the rain coming. It seems like every Friday it's been raining. I want a nice, pretty Friday for a change. Not today. So that's that one. And here you go. That was 1984. And now we're working on 1989. There we go. All right. That's that guy. Let's put him. I'm going to do that the entire video. I'm going to keep wanting to go to the right instead of the left for my project. So that's going to fall. All right, next one I need the iPad. So let's grab that. And I don't know if it was, nope, we don't want that. In last week's comments, oh, it must have gotten deleted. Well, while I'm talking to you, let me get it. In last week's comments, I think I had started, was it Christmas Tree Farm? And someone had said to me, in the comments, oh, that's great. Maybe hopefully the Christmas Town project that you're doing will come out one of these days as well. And I thought about it. I said, you know what? Let's bring that one out because I haven't done that one in a while. I really do want to show you this one on the iPad because it's so colorful. And you will see there's so many color changes that seeing progress on this one will be slow. Like if I start to bring it out, multiple times, you may not see a lot in a session because there's a lot to it. I love it though. That's what it looks like. And this is from Stitchrovia on Etsy. Now, the one change I am making, I am using, she's charted this all in DMCs, so that was easy enough for me. The one thing I am not doing though, because of the fabric I'm using, I am not, see all around the tree and all that white, you see? That is stitched. I'm not gonna stitch that. I'm gonna leave it open and I'll show you why. But that's what it looks like. And I'm still plugging away at the top. I got lots to do yet. But here we are. That's what it looks like. Now, let's, maybe I can do it smaller. Give you a little bit of better idea. What I'm using, if I go, I don't know, will the light pick it up? I'm using opal, 18 count white opal, just plain old white opal. And so what I figured, like even here in the chart, it's stitched. I'm gonna leave this blank because what you see with it, and when you get to the path, is you'll see the sparkle in and among. So it's almost like, you know, a little bit of snow. There are a few cases like these stars where I did stitch the white or in the top of a roof. But if you'll notice here, I did not. So there's bits and pieces where I'm going to individually choose how and why I want to stitch that. But my focus really was I got this top part done, and then I'm just working on this side, you know, kind of working my way down, and then we'll keep going. But the number of color changes, and you'll do, you know, maybe 5 or 6 stitches here, and then maybe there's a little bit here or whatever, but you have to count. And I've already made, I had to fix it. So this was not in the right spot ages ago when I was stitching it. And unfortunately, with a project like this, everything plays off of it. And it was just off enough that to sit and kind of finagle all of the pattern would have been a lot of extra work, more so than just ripping it out. So I did rip that out and restitch it. So I'm really doing my best to pay attention and get everything counted right. And I have to kind of recount and do, because I think over here, I kept seeing it a little bit wrong, and I kept wanting to do something that wasn't there. So I've been slow with this one, but it'll come along. It's a lot of fun. The colors are so bright and vibrant and make you happy that I do want to keep going with it. So thank you to whoever said, oh, when are we bringing out Christmas Town from Stitchrovia? Thank you for giving me the suggestion. And it may not get work every week. We'll see. What this one might be a great one for is to put in a strand or two a day. Pick a color, pick an area, and just kind of do a little bit and plug away. That way, because there are so many changes, it kind of plays into that idea of a few strands each day. So we'll see. You know, my plans are very fluid and loose, so we go where the wind blows me. For want of a better analogy. So that's that one. That's Christmas Town. So I have Autumntown and Christmas Town this week. We have a lot of towns. All right, put that over here. Next, I did bring out this one again this week. I was in the sparkle mood. So I am doing Prairie Schooler Christmas Tree Farm. These are cute too. I bet you at some point I'll do those as well, but not now. And I'm also doing this one on the 18 count white opal. So same kind of idea, especially here, because there is so much open that I thought it would really look pretty, because it's like little snow effects in between all of the trees and down here. Now, inside, couple things that I haven't decided on yet. Inside the houses with the windows, it is charted in, and I don't want to flip it over too much because there is patterns on the back of the little guys. I think it's charted in just white, to stitch those in white. Well, I'm doing it on white fabric. There's a little bit of sparkle. I think I might not stitch those. If I do, I might do them in like a very light yellow to show like there's lights on in the houses or something. I'm not sure. I haven't made a decision yet. So even though the houses as I go along will be complete, you'll see empty windows, although they're white, which is what it's stitched in. So we'll see. The other thing, the moon and the stars up here are charted in, let me show you where I am. That's where I am. They're charted in this color right here, which is kind of a very, if you were to look at it quick, maybe a very dull gold-ish brown. All right, so somewhere along those lines. I don't want my moon and my stars that color. I talked about maybe some sort of yellow, which is still a thought, kind of brighter than what I would do in the houses. But somebody had also suggested in the comments maybe some sort of silver, kind of the silvery moon and the stars, which would match these colors from Prairie Schooler as well. So that's a thought too. I don't know yet. The one thing I'm also don't think I'm going to do, you see this tree here? I don't think I'm going to do it. The way it kind of encroaches and everything else, I think I might just do a whole row of stars. I haven't 100% decided on that, but when I was looking at it, it just wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't calling to me. So my goal with this one has been pick a couple pieces and get that stitched for your stitching session, whatever it is, you know. And when I say stitching session, I mean, I usually pick a project for a day. And okay, it's out, I might be able to pick up a half an hour here, or maybe I'm lucky and I have an hour kind of stretch where I can just sit down and do some stitching. I generally do stitching some point during the day before dinner. Usually after dinner, I'm tired and I start stitching and I fall asleep. So I am not a late night stitcher like many of you are. It has to be done during the day for me, or it really isn't going to get done much. So what I did for this week was I really wanted to do this little truck, and I wanted to do the path, especially because I wanted to see what that color looked like on the fabric. But I was like, okay, that's not much. So I decided to also focus on another house and the tree. Really, in the beginning, it was the truck and the house. But I had a little extra time, and that tree is just one color. So I did the tree as well. This house still needs a, you know, I think it's 2 chimneys on that house, and I have to fill in the door. But really, for the most part, the main part of it is stitched. Again, jumping away from the window idea until I decide what to do. But I really like that idea of just picking and breaking down piece by piece for, you know, whatever that daily stitching happens to be. That really feels like it's doable, and I'm getting to see progress, and I like how it's going. So I think that's how I'm going to tackle this entire project. If that's the case, and especially because I don't spend, you know, usually I'm like, I spend one day and then let's go on to something else. This won't get done for this Christmas, but I'm curious to see what I can get done. But so fun so far. And yeah, so we'll have some decisions here. Oh, the other thing I'm not doing is the border. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to have it in Autumntown and work from it there. That's the one thing I really love about patterns. I love picking and choosing. And sometimes I just want to do a tiny part of it. Sometimes I want to do most of it with leaving certain elements out. And then sometimes I just keep it 100% the way it is. It's just, it's kind of a way of making it my own, and it fits what works for me. I am definitely more of a minimalist in some cases. So sometimes it's kind of similar with like the cottages of the month. At the top and the bottom borders, sometimes there's just too much stuff there. So I will strategically take stuff out and not stitch it. And it just, for me, for that open space in my brain, happens to be what works for me. And in this case, that's the border. I definitely kind of don't need that. So that you won't see it with the border on this one. And I have one more that is a previously started stitch. I told you I got a lot this week. It's this little guy. He's so cute. The Wee Santa 2020. I know at least one of you said that they picked this up. It's really cute. He's bigger than you think he is. Like, it's a small pattern, don't get me wrong, but like this area of him, that's a lot more stitching than you think when you look at, okay, look at, this is small, no time at all, a little bit more time than you think. All right, here he is. Let me fold him a little bit more so I can hold it. Yeah, you'll be able to see what I've done. There he is. This is an 18 count, what is this? Whimsical from Color and Cotton. And this is a color that is on their site. It's not like a fabric of the month or anything, or maybe it was at one point, but I got it straight from they're ready to ship when they had it available. There he is. I did make a decision, and let's see if I can pull this out without making too much noise. On his face. His face was way too pink for me. His face, then his cheeks and nose were pinker. And then I didn't even do, I kind of forgot, but his lips were way pinker than that. And it wasn't, I don't know, wasn't jazzing me. So what I did, and I did different than my Prairie Schooler Santas just because this is a different shade of fabric and I wanted to try something else. So I think he looks pretty cute overall. What do you think? I don't know, maybe you like the other one better. And maybe you like the originally charted, which is fine. For me, they're just a little too pink, but hey, go for it, because maybe that's what, the whole color scheme is what attracted you to the pattern to begin with. So always stay true to what works for you. Instead of whatever she charted for, or they charted, I'm acting like I know all these designers. Whatever they charted for the face, I changed it to 738, and I will put this information below with which exact color I switched out. And then I did, the cheeks and the nose are two different colors according to the original pattern. The nose is a little bit darker pink, and then the cheeks are a bright pink. I did it all the same, and I did them on set with 758. So, a little bit different color scheme and idea than the Prairie Schoolers, but I figured I'd give it a try and see. And I can always fix and change the face to another set of colors if I wanted to. But that's the only change I am making to the called for DMC alternatives. I'm pretty sure everything else is what was called for. So I decided to work a little bit on this tree. That was kind of a fun no-brainer sort of work, because obviously there's a lot of counting with the candy canes in between all of the jacket. And, you know, there's candy canes on one side he's holding, and then there's a little snowman in a pocket over here. And for some reason, one of the colors, it's not the darkest green from the tree, but the other green that's in his pocket and I think his pants, for some reason, I don't know, maybe I pulled it out. I don't have it in here. So I was going to do a little bit of that, you know, his mittens and things, and I don't have the floss. And I think I even looked in my extra, you know, my regular stash of DMC, and I don't have that green. So at some point, because rather than trying to raid all of my current projects to see if I have it, it's just a trip to Michael's to try to grab that DMC. Maybe I'll find a few more patterns that I want to, you know, kit up-ish and grab the DMCs to make it worth the run. So we're getting there. But his green right now is missing. There we go. We Santa 2020 from Heart in Hand, right? Yes, Heart in Hand. Whimsical for the fabric. And this is a great fabric for beards and snow and all that. I'm loving it. Loving, loving. And the white I'm using is just Blanc of the different shades of white DMC. So there it is. So those are all the pieces that I had previously started and just worked on this week. Then I have one new start, and I need my iPad one more time. Lots of stitching. You always get lots of stitching with me. Okay. This is a little one, and this one happened to be my car project when we drove up here. I needed something small and easy, and this fit the bill. So this is from Primrose Cottage Stitches, and it's Joy to the World. It's just a cute little small. And I talked about wanting to do this. And I think I even showed you the fabric with the flosses. And I got a good ways. I got a good ways on this. There we go. This is 18 count beach glass from Vintage Needlearts. So it's that really, really pale green. I didn't do a great job ironing. It's the first one. I don't know if the iron was hot enough. It's two colors. It's just the green and the red. I think both of them look great on this fabric. I almost got the border done, but I kind of I jumped around because I got kind of, I had run out of a thread, and rather than starting a new thread, I was like, oh, let's do the letters instead. So maybe this will be the car project driving back down to Delaware. We'll see. It was nice and small, and with just the 2 colors, it's convenient kind of managing it while you're sitting in the car. But, you know, there is 3 different designs. I think there's a snowman. I think that's along the Christmas lines. And I don't remember what, there might be one that says 'tis the season with some presents. Each one, as far as I could tell, is sold as a single. I did not see, although I didn't look at all of her PDFs, I didn't see it sold as a set of 3. So that's it. Just a cute little start. Hopefully maybe this week a finish. We'll see. You know, you say that, and then you're looking, you're like, oh, there's a little bit more stitching than I thought there was. So we'll see. I have the whole world, plus some elements, some back stitching for to the, so we'll see. But that's that one. Just a cute little start. And this was extra fabric from my Belle's of Ireland piece, so it was perfect. Try to use up all my fabric as best I can. That's it. That's all the stitching I did this week. Pretty good. Plans. I don't have a ton of plans. The one thing I do know, and I have to make a fabric choice with it, is I'd like to stitch Candy Cane Lane from Stitching with the Housewives. I showed that to you, was it last week or the week before, when I had bought a bunch of digitals? It might have been 2 weeks ago. That was one of the pieces that I had bought, and I don't want to do it on the black fabric though, so I need to decide, do I want to do it on like a blue? I'll see what it's charted in. I'll grab the flosses for that, or play around with what I think would look good with that one. So when I know and I have a fabric choice, then I'll get that one started. I still haven't found Naughty or Nice is the Christmas movie. That's Candy Cane Lane. Haven't found it yet on Hallmark. I have to do a search though. I've just been flipping through a little bit periodically, so I have to go back, search for it, and then search for all my standard favorites that I want to see for the year. So that's it for plans that I know for sure, and then we'll just see. We'll just flip through each morning and decide what jumps out at me. Okay, Happy Mail. I got one piece of Happy Mail. I was super, super excited. Sally had reached out and said that she had bought 2 of a specific chart accidentally, and could she send it to me and I could either keep it or do it as a giveaway. I thought that was so sweet of her, and it is adorable. So she sent me Tiny Modernist's Halloween wreath. I wouldn't be stitching that this year if I do it. Obviously, we're kind of, except for the open projects, or I might decide that I would like to share it with one of you just right off the bat, because it is super adorable. So in the future, keep your eyes out. It may either go to one of you, or you may see me stitching it. I'm not sure. But that was so sweet of you, Sally. Thank you for your note and your words and being generous and sending this to me. And I got some mail. It was so fun. Oh, so fun. I love getting mail. I love getting little notes. As opposed to, we came back and we had held the mail. We were probably, gone for a couple weeks. And of course, a lot of it's junk, but and I had all my fabric of the months that you're going to see now coming up. So it was a decent pile because we don't usually get that much mail. And, like, okay, super excited to get these packages. Then there's Bill, junk, Bill, junk. And I'm like, oh, a note. That's always so nice. So that was fun to get, was to get that personal piece of mail from a stitchy friend. All right, shopping. So like I alluded to, I have quite a bit of fabric of the months to show you. Actually, so I do 4, 2 of which are smaller pieces in the options you can get. So they kind of add up to like a 1. And then the other 2, it's the smallest you can get, but it's a little bit bigger, kind of like a fat quarter type of thing, or an 18 by 21, whatever. And those are kind of the splurges for myself for each month. And I figure I don't do variegated flosses. I'd rather put it into the pretty fabrics and then work my way around with my DMCs, my trusty DMCs. So that's where I splurge, is my fabric of the months. And we just so happen to have all of them at once, which never happens normally because they come in piecemeal. All right, so this first one, and I will try to tell you, as far as I know, like this one's not labeled as a month. Let me see. Normally I'll be able to tell you. I think most of the other ones I can tell you. I'm pretty sure though this was October, so everybody of you might have gotten it already anyway. First one I'm gonna do is the October. Yeah, because she doesn't send till the end of the month. So I didn't get this one till the beginning of November. October Bestitch Me, fabric of the month, standard, not neutrals. Okay, so you get colors instead. And this one, look, oh, sorry if you haven't gotten it yet, if you're overseas. Look away if you don't want to see. This first one is called Cardinal. And really pretty. It's a little bit more subtle than what you would think, okay, normally to say for Cardinal. Oh, it is getting so dark out. Did you notice the color change here? It is really dark out. If I'm looking straight ahead here, and it's a little brighter here, but it's pouring buckets right now. So we'll do our best here with the light. I know Jessica from Stitches of Sass sent me a link for a ring light. I'm super excited. I just have to order it so that hopefully we won't be worrying about these, all of these different color variations moving forward. It's just a matter of me actually putting in cart and buying. But today it's just dark, just as dark. And I only have the one light in here, you know, the one standard light in the middle of the room. So we'll just work with it. But this one is pretty. It is not what I would have, if you said to me Cardinal, it wouldn't necessarily have been the first shade, but I love it. And I think how she chose to dye it and the shade is just perfect. And you could use this for so many beautiful items. All right, so that's the first one. Let me put that away. Okay, next, we're gonna look at Color and Cotton. It's the October 2021 fabric of the month, and I just get any. So I never know if I'm gonna get a neutral or something more color. So if you do not want to see, and all of these are 18 count Aida, realizing that a lot of the other fabrics will dye differently, color-wise, scheme-wise, it might look a little different. All right, so look away if you don't want to see the Color and Cotton. This one's called Cypress. Color and Cotton, and the next one I do get the smaller pieces for. Isn't that pretty? Really, really pretty. Again, a little bit more of a subtle shade. That's kind of nice right there, showing you a subtle shade, but you can definitely, not like super, super light, but also not in your face. So I wouldn't call this a neutral-ish so much, because I think a neutral is more as the tans and the browns, but it could be used, again, so much and so many different types of patterns. So really a lot of fun. So that one is the Color and Cotton. All right, this next one, let's see here. I'm pretty sure this is also, I think they're all October, to be quite honest with you. I think they are, which would make sense because I wasn't around the month of October a lot. But this one's called Alfred, and it's from Fortnite Fabrics. And I get the subtle samplers. You know how they have the different types that you can choose from this year. I chose subtle samplers just to get a whole bunch of kind of like the more neutrally colors. I mean, because I figured many of my other fabric of the months, if I have an option, I go with color rather than a neutral. So I figured it'd be nice to throw some in. So this is called Alfred, 18 count Aida, and that's from them. A great, great neutral. Lots of fun. It's like a very light brownish. Some of their neutrals are a little bit more on like the peachy tones. This one is not. Be more on like a gold tone, but not like a crazy gold. A neutrally kind of brown. Really nice. So that's called Alfred. And I really don't know because they have multiple fabrics of the month that you can choose from. I really don't know how they do, if those were all just one-off and if they ever end up in their shops at all. And that I don't know enough about how they do it. This is my first, well, maybe 4 or 5 months. I jumped in, decided I wanted to try getting some of their fabrics, and I'm super pleased with them. Really lovely, and I'm glad I chose the ones that I did. All right, the last one is from Under the Sea Fabrics. Yes. And again, I believe it's October. It's 18 count Aida. This one's a little totally different than all of them, so it's kind of cool. So look away if you don't want to see the Under the Sea October. And this is called Hestia. And this is multiple colors. And as I always say, and actually it's very fallish in some ways because of that kind of shade. Yes, you can see, in this case, you can see the modeling. But the camera always, for me at least, maybe it's the lighting I use, the camera always makes it much starker. These blend in better in some cases. I mean, this is bright-ish, don't get me wrong, but the colors definitely blend in much better in person. So that when you were to, if you were to stitch something on this, you wouldn't have huge variations depending on what your pattern was. So that's called Hestia. Oh, look at that. That actually looks like leaves right there. Leaves. So that was Under the Sea Fabrics. And that is a brand new fabric of the month for me. She had opened the club up. I guess she doesn't do it very often. And she opened it up in August. And I jumped on it because I had seen some of her previous ones. And I was just, and I've got a few of her fabrics that I've just ordered over the last couple of years. And I really just wanted to give it a try. I do know, and I don't know if it's all of them, but because last year I grabbed a couple. At the end of the year, if you're not in the fabric of the month, well, it doesn't matter if you are or not. I don't know if she releases all of the colors that she's done for fabric of the month, but there's a short period of time at the end of the year that you can order some of the colors that she did for fabric of the month. And then I don't know if they end up in her shop at any point. Again, I've got little threads everywhere. I don't know enough about that, but if you've seen something over the course of the year that was a fabric of the month, and I did that with, I think there was a grayish and a bluish, a denimish type of ones last year that I adored. And so as soon as she opened it up, I grabbed a couple of those pieces. So that is an option if you like some of what you've seen, but you're just not in the fabric of the month. I don't know how often she opens it up, type of thing. So, and then the only other piece I have of fabric, it's a Friday night piece from Bestitch Me. So maybe twice a month. I'm not 100% sure. Bestitch Me, Brandy, on her Facebook page, throws a whole bunch of fabrics in an album, and it's 10 p.m. my time, which is my bedtime. But at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Time, well, now we're standard, I don't know, it's Eastern Time. Say New York time, 10 o'clock. She opens it up, and basically it's just a free-for-all. You go in, you ask for something. If you're the first one that calls it, it's yours unless you decide to pass it on. I don't stay up. Like I said, 10 o'clock's my bedtime. I'm not doing that. So I don't know if it was the last Friday night, fight night, or the one before that. I said, in the morning, let me see if there's anything. And there happened to be nobody that had claimed this one. So that's another thing. If you want to try it, but if it's completely different time zone for you, middle of the night maybe in some parts of the world, just try in the morning when you wake up. And sometimes if there's only one person that claims it, put next in line, because people claim so many, and then a lot of times they go back and they decide, well, I really can't afford to buy all these, and so they'll pass it on. So you never know. You might get a piece that you wouldn't have gotten. This one had no names on it. I have no plans for it. It's definitely brighter than I would normally get, but I figured, since it's there and available, let's give it a try. So there is no name to this. It was just a Friday night piece. And look at that. It's a great orange. Love it. Obviously, Halloween would work. I also, in some senses, like to do these kinds of shades for summer pieces because it really makes me think of either the vibrant sunrise, more sunrises than sunsets. Sunsets seem to be pinker a lot of times. But it just makes me think of a lot of the vibrant, like sunrises or summer colors, this shade. So it's a no-name Friday night, fight night piece. Saturday night morning piece is what I should say. So sometimes just give it a try, rather than worrying about whether or not you can get on and whether or not, I guess there was some Facebook issues at some point. I don't sweat it. I'm just, if afterwards I can get something, great. Otherwise, lots of fabric, people. All right, so that was it for shopping this week. I have one or two things that I will show you next week. I'm still waiting on. I had placed a 1, 2, 3 order, and everything showed in stock, but the majority of it didn't come. So we'll give it a little bit more time to see if it does come. When you get it, a good portion of the order was shown as back ordered rather than, even though it said in stock and not out of stock. So that's all right. I've got plenty to stitch and plenty to do, so it'll just be a nice surprise down the line. I don't buy a lot of stuff, and from 1, 2, 3 Stitch, I've learned now, I don't buy with the idea that I'm gonna have it right away, because it seems like that happens quite a bit. And okay, while they were moving, I understood, but now it is the way it is. If nothing else, I always get my Anchor Black. That's where I get my Anchor Black fabric from, floss from. All right, giveaways. Let's talk about giveaways. So last week's winner has one more week, and I'm gonna put her name up. Last week, I had picked a name for those 5 free, that set of digital patterns from Green Terrace. And I give for giveaways 2 weeks, just in case you didn't get a chance to watch it the first week, before I pick a new name. So Mary McCarty, you have 1 more week to get back to me. You can, message me on Instagram. You can send me a Gmail. I check my spams. I really do my best. If you say, well, I sent you something, put that in the comments so I know, because sometimes, for whatever reason, if it gets lost, I know to reach out to you. But Mary McCarty, you have 1 more week. Make sure I'm saying your name right. Yep. To get back to me. If I don't hear from you by the time I film my next video, which usually is every week, short of there being, an issue, I will pick a new name. I always keep all the names until I hear from the winner. So, Mary, 1 more week. All right. So that's that. This week's giveaway, I loved the ideas. Many of you had talked about what you saw or planned to do with this, and there were some really great ideas on it. This is a kit that I had gotten from jubilancelane.com, and it is a small little kind of bag, for want of a better word, that you cross stitch, and that's what it looks like. And it's a kit, so it comes with all the stuff with it. So I asked you if you were interested to say the word flower. The bowl came up from Delaware. I could have just used a bowl up here, but all this stuff is all put together. I put it all in a box, and I just said, this is my Flosstube taping box. My iron came up because I only own 1 iron, so I had to bring that up and then bring it back next week. But and just all my little notebooks and stuff. So let's move everybody around, and the winner is, let me grab a name from the pile. Okay, I have a name. And Carla Rigel. Carla, you know what? I'm going to use this fabric because it's great to show. Carla, I'd say Rigel maybe. I apologize if I didn't say it correctly. Congratulations. You are the winner. Whoa, got everything attached here. You are the winner of this kit. So if you, like I had mentioned earlier, get back to me. DM me on Instagram, or send me an email, or however you can get a hold of me, please do so, and I would be happy to send this out to you. Super excited. All right, and like all of the giveaways, 2 weeks, please. All right, this week, make sure I put the name so I know who the winner is. There we go. This week I have a small little pattern for everybody to try for, and because I was in a Christmas mood, I chose a Christmassy sort of pattern. I have something less Christmassy I'll probably do as a giveaway next week. And then we might get back into some Christmas stuff, since the end of November, beginning of December, you can try to maybe get some stuff done. So this is a cute little pattern from Primrose Cottage Stitches, and it's called Deck the Halls, and it is the hard copy. So it is the paper copy, okay? It is charted in mostly DMCs. There is one Gentle Arts, but she also gives the DMC alternative. These would be super cute. Again, see, I look at these patterns and it's super cute the way it is. And, you know, it's finished cute and all that. But depending on the size of some of these individual pieces, they'd be super cute themselves as individual like ornaments, or how cute would, you know, the wreath or this element be on a tag or a card or something along those lines. You could really have a lot of fun with this. So this is the giveaway for this week, and let's do, I'm trying to decide a word that wouldn't have been used by any of my other stitching. Let's say present. P-R-E-S-E-N-T. Present. Sometimes I mumble. I'm not, you know, when I'm spelling, I'm not, it's clearly, it's purely the fact that I either talk too fast or sometimes just mumble, and I want to make sure that you have the best chance possible to win. So that's the only reason I'm doing the spelling. And I understand sometimes there's typos. So I don't do, you know, I mean, I go through each and every comment looking for. So gosh knows, like with my fingers, I'm always typing something off and wrong. So I do my best to find that as well. But that's the only reason I'm spelling. But the word present anywhere in your comments, and I will put your name in the bowl for this next video's giveaway. So that's that. All right, so good luck. And that's it. It's a long video. I knew it would be because I had a lot of stitching. You know, I like to talk about my stitching and then all the other stuff. So if you don't want to hear about life stuff, which is small anyway, then have a fantastic week, and I will see you next time around. Otherwise, we're here in Connecticut. It's a short trip. Just, you know, had a few doctor's appointments. You can only hold mail for a certain amount of time. So we kind of, unless you want to afford it, we're not going through all those kind of rigmaroles right now. So, you know, we're kind of back and forth, this and that. I got a chance to see, I won't see my brother and sister-in-law for Thanksgiving because we're going to stay down in Delaware. So they came over last night just to chat for a little bit. I haven't seen them since probably the kids' birthdays, Megan's birthday over the summer maybe. So, I can't even remember if they had, now, see, time just is flying. I can't even remember if they were able to come to that now, thinking about it. Anyway, so it was just nice to visit, and just ran errands, stocked up on all my Whole Foods items because we have no Whole Foods. And I like my 365 brand items. And they really, so Shamrock, for example, you know, he has the belly issues. And so with every meal, he gets 2 tablespoons of pumpkin. The 365 brand of straight just pumpkin puree is way cheaper than pretty much any other brand I can find. Maybe this time of year you might get a sale that would be a little bit better. So I stock up on pumpkin, and just I look to see if there's anything on sale, and I stock up on that. So there's a new Whole Foods that was just built maybe about 10-15 minutes away from me. I said, let's go to the new one. I was driving right by anyway because I had my chiropractor appointment this week. It was so beautiful. Oh, I love it. I love it. So anyway, I was in my glory shopping in Whole Foods. Doesn't really take much to get me excited. But otherwise, not a lot. We're still, for those of you who might remember who have been with me for a while, with that swamp, the improper grading in the backyard, we're still fighting with them to try to get them finished that. But, you know, it is the way it is. I'm stubborn. I'll keep at it. I'll keep bugging them until they come and fix what they got to fix. And we might have a little bit of furniture coming this week. So I might have more to talk about next week. But that's really about it. It's quiet. It's been quiet. Errands and doctor's appointments have really been it. So I hope you're well. I hope you're safe. I hope you're getting lots of stitching in and maybe embracing holiday stitching, whatever that means to you. And until next time, happy stitching.